Guys, today is a very sad day for some of us in UK, especially we immigrants. It looks like the day is never ending for some of us. I keep reading these documents over and over again to, kind of understand what is really in there for us. And I must say that it's no good news at all. Yeah. So I'm very sad today. But we still keep hopes high, knowing that this kind of document is not yet passed into a legislation. This is only more like a proposal, which is yet to take effect. Okay, so now we don't really know when it's going to start to take effect, who is going to affect, and all that. So we keep still trusting God, encouraging ourselves that it is well with our soul. All right, guys, let's move straight into the document. As you can see, this is the white paper, and it's called the Restoring Control Over the Immigration System. To find these documents, just go to Google and just type UK Immigration White Paper 2025, May 2025. This document is going to pull up for you. It's a link, so you just click on the link. All right. So we'll just look into the areas, the important areas that we need to be aware of. It's a whole huge document. It's very much detailed, all right? It's over 70 pages. Yes, it's a very detailed document, but we are not going to read everything. I'm just going to highlight the important areas for us to be aware of, all right? The first area I wish to highlight is the care visa. Okay, guys, the restriction on the care visa can be found on page 27. All right, so let's move straight to page 27. It's under the adult social care. We recognize that sometimes labor shortages are not due to lack of skills. For example, vacancies in the social care workforce are largely driven by historic levels of poor pay and poor terms and conditions, leading to low domestic recruitment and retention rates. This government is committed to tackling these issues and has committed to establishing fair pay agreements which will empower worker, employer, and other sector representatives to negotiate improvements in the terms of employment. These agreements will move the UK away from a dependence on overseas workers to fulfill our care needs. Okay, so this is the ban now. We will therefore end overseas recruitment for social care visas. In line with our wider reforms to skills thresholds, we will close social care visas to new applications from abroad. For a transition period until 2028, we will permit visa extensions and in-country switching for those already in the country with working rights, but this will be kept under review. So this is it, guys. It says that for overseas recruitment, there will not be any care worker visas anymore. But for those of us already in here, from the transition period is from now till 2028, and we will be permitted to do visa extensions and also to do switching. All right, so switching from one organization to the other is permitted until 2028. So this is the ban. All right, guys, aside this, there will also be another temporary shortage occupation list. Okay, it says here that we will establish a new temporary shortage list to provide time-limited access to the points-based immigration system. Occupations below the RQF 6, which is the below degree level. Okay, so occupations below degree level must be listed on the temporary shortage list in order to gain access to the immigration system. Sectors will not be potentially added to the temporary shortage list if they are key to the industrial strategy or delivering critical infrastructure and following advice from the MAC. All right, guys, what this means is that over the years, they have seen a growth in visa numbers and concerns about exploitation of overseas recruits, and have been particularly, these exploitations have been particularly seen in occupations below the degree level. All right, so what they are saying is that from henceforth, they will now lift the level for skilled worker back to the degree level. That's the RQF 6 and above. And also, they are also saying over here that salary threshold will also rise as well. All right. Now let's move a bit down to see the impact of this white paper on international students. This can be found on page 36. All right, it says here, the government actually recognizes the impact of international students on their economy, on the UK economy. In 2021, international students in UK universities generated an estimated £20.65 billion in exports through living expenditure and tuition fees. But this is right that these benefits are shared. The government will explore introducing a levy on higher education provider income from international students to be reinvested into the higher education and skills system. Further details will be set out in the autumn budget. All right. The government also recognizes that some way, somehow, the integrity of the UK's student visa system is being undermined, both by individuals from overseas seeking to exploit it and by education providers in this country failing to protect it. Hence, to prevent the misuse of student visas, the UK government will strengthen the requirements that all sponsoring institutions must meet in order to recruit international students. The UK government will ensure there are arrangements for future international student recruitment for sponsoring institutions to demonstrate that they are considering local impacts when taking its decision on international recruitment. Guys, in simple English, what they are trying to say is that for these universities that are, taking on international students, the UK government is going to put in place stricter measures on these universities, enforcing, certain rules or regulations, ensuring that they follow those rules and regulations before, they give out these cars. The government is also saying that they will conduct a review of the accreditation bodies to ensure that their processes are robust, and also consider what factor checks needs to be put in place to ensure the right level of scrutiny is being applied, both before an organization is credited and when the accreditation is renewed. Now let's move to the graduates. After completion of your university studies, the graduate route was launched in July 2021 as an unsponsored route which allows students to stay in the UK for 2 years or 3 years for PhD students after graduation. The purpose of this route is for international students, graduates to work or look for work following the successful completion of an eligible course. We recognize the valuable contributions that graduates make to the UK, but it is important that those who stay transition into graduate level jobs and are properly contributing to our economy. Therefore, we will reduce the ability for graduates to remain in the UK after their studies to a period of 18 months. The government will explore introducing a levy on higher education provider income from international students to be reinvested into the higher education and skills system. This can be found on page 39. All right. Guys, let's move down to page 65. It talks about the English language requirements. Okay, previously, when you are coming to UK on the skilled worker route or as a student, normally it's only the main applicants that does the English language. So if it's IELTS, it's only the main applicants that do take the test. And or if you decide to go through ECTS, it's only the main applicant that does that. But with this white paper, the rule have changed. All right. Those who wish to build their lives in the UK need to learn to speak and understand English so they can integrate into life in this country by getting a job or improving their prospects at work, assessing and making good use of local services, becoming part of the community life, and contributing to society. To support this, we will introduce new English language requirements across a broader range of immigration routes for both main applicants and their dependents to ensure better knowledge of English, including an assessment of improvements over time. Yes, this is the new, proposal, which is yet to take effect. As I said, up till now, we do not know when it's going to take effect. All right. Reading on again, it says over here that we will introduce a new English language requirement for all adult dependents of workers and students at level A1, that's the basic user, to align to spousal and partner routes, and will work towards increasing this requirement over time. Now let's move on to the last part that I wish to talk about today, which can be found on page 68. It's the settlements. That's the settlements in UK. This is also going to change. Earned settlement. Settlement in the UK is a prerequisite for becoming a British citizen and brings lifelong benefits. Settlement is also an important step in integrating and contributing to local communities in the wider country. Guys, UK government is now saying that, settlements should be earned and no more a right. Okay. So initially, when you're on the skilled worker visa, you have about 5 years, then you can apply for settlement. All right, that's the ILR. But now what it's saying is that you no more have that right to apply for settlement within 5 years or after 5 years. Now you will have to earn it. It's now increasing the 5 years to 10 years. This expansion of the points-based will increase the standard qualifying period for settlement to 10 years. It's over here. All right. There is, however, a caveat here, which reads, we will continue to offer a shorter pathway to settlement for non-UK dependents of British citizens to 5 years, provided they have remained compliant with their requirements, and we will retain existing safeguards to protect the vulnerable, including settlement rights for victims of domestic violence and abuse. All right, guys. This is a very, as I said earlier, is a very detailed, extensive, document. It speaks volume. All right. I may not have, spoken about your situation. Everybody's situation is different. All right. So what I will encourage you is to just go find this document and, read for yourself as well, depending on your situation. All right. And just to notify all of you or to inform you, please, I am not an immigration or legal person. I only read and decided to share the information. All right. It's just based purely on research that I did. Please go and do your research as well. Read it for yourself. And if you need any further clarifications, I would advise that you get in touch with an immigration lawyer or a qualified person for further explanation. Guys, thank you. This is Gennysukexperience. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so now. Share this video with family and friends. We'll keep monitoring the space for further, explanations or for further details in the coming weeks. All right, stay blessed and see you soon. Bye.